That piece there was Thessalian Studios. The piece is called Tears of Joy. I like Thessalian. I have an arrangement with them. Actually, it cost me, and I got to use their material. That's about as far as that arrangement went. All right. See, this chat thread's going on. 460 people on. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot more. See, I hope you guys had a pretty good week since the last live. Hello, Jahara Lee. You always stand out to me there in the chat. Christine, Square Peg, Wendy, thank you for the moderating. I didn't really have time to give anybody any warning that I was going to do this. Didn't know I was going to do it when I woke up this morning. Jay Hart, I got your package. Thank you. There are 2 books in that package that are gems. I don't know where you're finding these old books, but yeah. They're already on the shelf, Jay. I know you can see them somewhere. I can't see all this. I don't want to pull all that off the shelf. And the Mayan hieroglyphics, yeah. Well, now I'm gonna have to go through all my Mayan notes and start comparing stuff, especially with what they call the Aztec calendar stone, which is nothing. It's not true. It was found over 25 feet underground. It's a 22-ton stone disc. The Aztecs had nothing to do with that relic. It was probably Toltec. It's called the Stone of the Fifth Sun. Yeah, and for all you guys getting triggered, I don't know what it is about. Listen, my t-shirts are just that. They are not messages, unless it's obvious, and I'm trying, be fearless. But yeah, I got a lot of t-shirts. But when you know what? When all you see is shadow, the whole world you're living in is darkness. There's just no way around it. If I can't wear a Pink Floyd t-shirt that's got a pyramid and an eye on it without you thinking I'm Illuminati, then there's a problem. We'll get to that later. I got people calling me CIA. I got people calling me what is that? Controlled opposition. I got so many accusations at me lately. It's pathetic. Doesn't even matter. All that stuff bounces off of me. A lot of participation here in this chat. Appreciate that, guys. For those of you who watched my video last night on the predictions for the next 270 days, you have to understand these aren't just thrown out of my head. My veteran subscribers know exactly the process by which I derive those conclusions. So, and you can too. All you got to do is go to my predictions playlist and start with the first video and go all the way down. By the time you finish that last video, I promise you'll be able to do isometric projections just as good as I can. Now, the only difference is you and I might have a different database that we were working from, and that's the problem. If all you have access to are mainstream news events, which most of them are BS, then doing isometric projections is not going to work very good for you, because all you're going to be doing is isolating more particulars of mainstream BS events, staged events, stuff like that. But like my Chronicon has a lot. Every year entry has things that were not widely known to the general public. So that's where isometric projections get really, really valuable in event prediction analysis, because when you have documented a chronology of many events going back 100 years that most of the public were unaware of that was happening behind the scenes, it affords you great visibility. You're able to see with better clarity because you have two information sources as opposed to one that everybody else has. That one is the world they're living in right then, the world of the media, the world of what you see and what you hear. But you get to add to that if you've collected a lot of data year by year that most people don't know about. This is why so many people have been asking me for my thumb drive, and I've been sending it everywhere because I may not be around to release all this information. I got thousands of pages of unpublished notes, and none of these facts are in any of my YouTube videos. Told you guys, I've got 500 videos left in me if I stick around. So I don't know. If I'm not on YouTube, I will be on another platform, no doubt. Won't take long. I want to give some shout outs right now to I'm putting a list together right now of Archaix staff. That file is pretty big now because it's compartmentalized into other files. There are several of you that sent me emails that were volunteering to do timestamps, volunteering to do transcripts. I have every one of your emails. I'm going to address them. One chaotic event after another in my life has really prevented me from doing Archaix stuff lately. So I really hope y'all be patient. Some people on their own initiative have already started doing timestamps, and I've been pinning them to the top of videos. If you're going to do transcripts, then start with just random videos, but stay out of the Anunna files because somebody is already halfway done with that entire playlist. They did it on their own initiative. Chronicon project has taken off. Again, somebody on their own initiative has taken the entire Chronicon PDF and rendered it into editable format Word and sent it back to me. Well, they started sending it back to me, the first section that I asked for. And they're going through all my notes, all my unpublished notes, and they're putting them in chronological order and typing them up so I can copy and paste them where they go in Chronicon, and I can edit Chronicon and get each piece done, because I'll be doing videos as each piece gets finished. I mean, the first one is going to be the pre-atomic world. The next one will be the pre-flood world, vapor canopy world. And I'll just do section by section. But people have come forward. They've built websites dedicated to Archaix and have sent me the links and hyperlinks. It's really surprised me how fast all of this is coming together. Somebody really impressive built a WordPress website that's dedicated to just providing you for free all the transcripts for all 327 of my videos now. That's an act of kindness. Oh, that was awesome when he told me that. I offered to pay him. So that's already up and running. Somebody else has taken my channel. I don't know if they finished all the videos, but I've already received several emails from people congratulating me for Archaix being on BitChute. Now, I didn't know Archaix was on BitChute. I got an email from this guy who told me he did it, and he uploaded all these videos onto BitChute. Well, I hope he continues to do that. Someone else is starting a Telegram chat. It's going to be an Archaix forum where everybody can get together and bounce their theories back and forth, because from the very beginning, I told you guys, I'm just bringing information to the table. I'm only a messenger. I do believe, and I've stated it from my very first video, my #1 video that I ever did when I was living in a wooden shack, when I didn't have any money, and I just knew that I had to start on this journey. I was out of prison, down on my luck, and I couldn't work. The oil and gas industry was killing me. I was in my 40s in a pipe yard. It was time for a change. But I was exploding with information, and I had boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of all my notes from prison. And I released that first video, and in that video, I was very specific 2.5 years ago. It was, I said, other people with greater minds than I are going to be able to put all this information together. This isn't for me to put together. I might participate. I might give some guidance, but I know it was my duty from the beginning to unleash all this material. And I have. There are cities all around the world today that have my data now. People have it. People have those flash drives, and I feel much better about it. But in doing all this, oh my God, the accusations have flown. And that's okay. We'll address that in this video. So, but let's see. Let me look at the chat. First of all, I'll always do an audio check, and I didn't do one, so I need to do that. Hey man, thanks for those donations, guys. I really appreciate that. I didn't do an audio check. I'm running my mouth, and thank you, Bobo Jangles. Weren't you a rat in a movie? Phoenix Protocol, man. I know that profile. I drew that. Wow. That's a nice looking chart. Wish more people had it. Thank you, Jahara. You sound good. Audio's good. Excellent. Chalk another one up to my podcast, Mike. Oh, you guys, another subscriber got tired of me talking about doing videos from my motorcycle, continuing the van vlogs, but with a special camera. Yeah, I'm about to get on that motorcycle and record some awesome videos for you guys. We're going to go, have y'all seen the high-rise buildings of downtown Houston? How about that in the same video that I go hit the Galveston seawall? Yeah, it's, we'll see. Thank you for that GoPro. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, that's awesome. Audio's great. Good. Like to know everybody can hear me running my mouth. It's all good. Yeah, there was one thing I wanted to address about the nuclear deal. Listen, guys, you guys need to be patient with me. You might have come to the Archaix channel and had your mind blown like I did when I was discovering all this material and putting it all together. And you get triggered because I say things about nuclear weapons and all that. Listen, I have not been out here in the free world absorbing YouTube videos. I have not been out here on Facebook looking at all these posts. I have not had this modern research. All 100% of my data comes from old books and reports. I have said this over and over and over and over. You guys have the benefit of materials that were gleaned from many, many, many old sources. And I cite them over and over and over, and I tell you what these old books say, and I reveal those modern authors who are full of shit because they know exactly what I know. It just didn't fit their paradigm because their paradigm wouldn't get them paid from a publisher. So, listen, I'm not the nuclear deal. I haven't researched it. So you can't sit there and breathe down my neck about nukes. I'm getting tired of all these triggered remarks. Nukes ain't real. I even had somebody say nukes ain't real unsubbed. Do you have any idea how pedantic that sounds? You just omitted a tremendous amount of data that you can't get anywhere else but Archaix because of, and you unsubbed. I don't care about you unsubbing, move around. But I'm just saying to actually write that in a comment for future posterity to see that was in your personality makeup to say that and do that. That type of behavior shocks me. I don't understand. A lot of times I just wonder if I trigger beta males. And I mean that sincerely because I carry myself as an alpha male and always will. There will be nothing but fearlessness and confidence from me until the day I die. And I guess it triggers some people because they just go off on my channel. You gotta understand, some of these comments get deleted, guys. They really do. And you don't see them. And a lot of these people, they delete their own comments when they read my response. So you don't see it. And I get that. I get it. I mean, I believe in people being able to change their mind and all that. But you got to give me a chance to do it. I haven't seen it. And I want to give some shout outs to those guys that I don't know your names. I can't remember all that. But many emails today in response to that video last night were sent to me where you were trying to educate me on the nuclear deal. You were sending me links and articles, PDFs. I mean, I congratulate you for that. That is the type of response that I need to invoke. I don't need the triggering. I don't need all of this little childishness. That right there, that's going to get you. That's going to get you blocked on my channel. It's going to get. Yeah, I'm just not trying to hear it. I'm looking into the nuclear deal. I just don't know. But what I do know and can speak with confidence is that we do have Moab type bombs. We can do mushroom cloud explosions with regular bombs. Do I know if they're nuclear or not? I don't know, because I've been in prison. I've never been able to, it's never even been on my radar that it would have been BS. I don't know. So anyway, I'm looking into it now because you brought it to my attention. But you have to understand too, 3 years ago, I was not into simulation theory. I have 327 videos now, counting my uploads and counting my live videos. That's 327 videos, but 326 of them were from the perspective of simulation theory. My very first video from my first channel, nothing about simulation theory, because I hadn't had my motorcycle accident yet. Then a year passed before I released my second video, and I took off. So once, remember I tell you guys all the time about Oliver Wendell Holmes, my favorite quote, when the human mind is stretched by a new idea, it can never go back to its original dimensions. And this is exactly what happened to me. Once I fully embraced that simulation hypothesis answers all the enigmas and mysteries of the ancient and modern world, I had to wrap all my data around that concept. And that's what you got. It's called Archaix. You live in the simulacrum, my brother. So I just wanted to get that rant out the way because you can trigger me too. I'm human. There's no doubt. But yeah, it's just, it gets ridiculous. It gets really redundant. I mean, they're not the only one. I got other people that come to my channel and make some really ridiculous statements. And then it's like a petulant 6-year-old kid picking up their toys and leaving. You know what I mean? Rant, unsub, gone. You could have just left and unsubbed. You didn't have to tell anybody. So it's crazy. Whole thing's crazy. I'm sorry, guys, but if y'all feel like I'm ranty, I haunt the comment section every single day. So, yeah, it's crazy. Thank you for the donation, CC Garland. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Lucy Salat. Hey, Salat. Thank you, Dodger. Yeah, man. That means a lot, guys. Deanne Forster. Thank you. I think I just sent you something. Dino Mancillo. Or I sent you a bunch of PDFs or a thumb drive or something. Bobo Jangles. Man, what was that movie? That rat? Oh, it's Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles. That's right. Oh, I'm an ex-con. I can't even remember that name of that movie. That's crazy. One of the most popular movies in prison. Wow. Tom Hanks movie. The Green Mile. That's what it was. Yeah. Imagine that. And listen, for those of you who think, listen, I was in maximum security most of the time I was down, but I had a few times where I was sent to medium and I got on work details that allowed me to go into minimum security units. And let me tell you something, guys. Don't think those units are what you see on television. Imagine a bunch of tattooed, hardened convicts all sitting around day room tables watching Murder, She Wrote, watching The Days of Our Lives. Man, you better not change that channel when them boys are watching that soap operas. Yeah, you're asking to touch everything in that day room. It's crazy. Whole thing's crazy. Whole thing's crazy. Yeah, man, I appreciate your support, guys. You guys know it's not even necessary. It's not what this is about at all. And I'm not CIA. Promise you guys, I am not CIA. The whole thing's just ridiculous. It really is. But I'm gonna do some Q&As here in a little while, but man, I mean, I've received a lot of emails from people accusing me of being like Freemason, an agent of any group of nefarious orders, an evil genius gatekeeper. I'm not BSing. A wolf in sheep's clothing specifically hired to infiltrate and damage the truther community. That is an accusation leveled against me, my brothers and sisters. Yes, that's whole thing's ridiculous. There's a few people claiming that I was never even in prison, and my education is actually advanced and not from old books in the penitentiary. Some say old Jason is not even my real name. So, one girl said that she knows for a fact and can prove it that I am Israeli Mossad. You guys, I'm not making any of this up. This is just crazy. I'm a convicted felon, guys, with a most unflattering event 32 years ago that sent me to prison real fast. I was 17 years old, but I'm telling you now, there is no way I can be all the things these people are claiming I am. It's just the whole thing's just ridiculous. My very first videos, many of you guys got a chuckle out of them, but my very first video, all you could hear was chickens and roosters and background noises. I live basically in a shack, and you can see it in the back of the videos. Then I upgraded to an RV. Video quality is still, was still primitive. You guys complain about the audio in my original videos all the time. My van vlogs prove to you I'm not giving you guys scripted information because I'm driving. But the greatest proof is who I am. My life would indeed make a very interesting movie. You see, I went to prison for kidnapping. And I've already told you guys this in another video, but I got so many new subs that are not going to back to watch the old videos. Videos where I show pictures of my childhood, photos of me as a teenager, the different jobs I did when I got out of prison, But I was 17 years old and I had no idea what I had gotten into. Doesn't make me innocent, but this was 32 years ago in 1990. But we'll get to that in a minute. See, I have already told you guys that I spent a lot of time in maximum security being rebellious. I wanted to read. The wardens wanted me in their factories. I love the solitude and the silence as I studied, but minimum and medium security, they're loud with inmates always playing games, talking smack, acting like they're not even in a prison. It's like an adult daycare facility. If you think I'm BSing about them watching The Days of Our Lives and As the World Turns, that's what they do in minimum and medium security prisons. I'm not making that up. Sometimes in the joint, I pack steel. I've been in riots. I've been in race riots, general skirmishes, fights. I've received 12, maybe 13 major disciplinary cases that ended up with the administration taking all my work time, all my good time, all my visitation rights, recreation privileges, basically all my rights, privileges, and immunities. I've even been to solitary confinement more times than I can count. That's where they put you when they put you. It's like a timeout. You tell your kid to go sit in the corner because he's out of control. Well, they got solitary confinement for the adults. So, I slept in the dungeon for 14 months one time in 1995 and 1994 to 1995 for 14 months. I slept on a dungeon floor. I'm not making that up. Right here in Texas. Prisoners were killing each other everywhere. Maury Povich came with a whole news crew to our prison. Back then it was called the Terror Dome. You know of it as the Terror Unit. It's in Livingston, Texas. The reputation was so bad they changed the name to Polunsky Unit and later put Death Row there. But when I was there, it was called the Terror Dome. They didn't know what to do with it. So 14 months, they starved us. I'm not making none of this up. I was a skeleton. I used to eat my milk cartons, my raisin cartons. Yeah, I'm not making any of this up. FBI made the warden in Texas Department of Criminal Justice to feed us hot meals and let us have commissary again. I've been through it, guys. I don't need any sympathy from anybody. I put myself there. I'm just telling you, man. It has everything to do with my informed field, the very individual that I am today. So it's I don't know why I'm sharing these things. I committed felonies in prison. I even had to go to court and get more time while I was in prison. So for years, I acquired knowledge as I read and absorbed everything, taking prolific notes. I searched even the appendixes and basically whole bibliographies, addendums to books to find everything the authors had hidden. I wanted to know. You couldn't keep anything from me. I was absorbing everything. Through this darkness, I emerged both physically and mentally powerful, and within the walls of the prison, man, this opened doors for me. It allowed me to acquire more books, more knowledge. I don't know. I attracted more acquaintances. People out there in the free world were taking an interest in the things that I was writing. As the years passed, my tattoos multiplied to cover my entire body. From my neck to my feet, all the way down. I've always been very cautious never to put them on my neck and my face or on my hands. If I can wear a dress shirt and you would never know I had tattoos. I began to mature, to grow, to understand that intellect is basically insufficient. I don't know, as something else was guiding and protecting and illuminating me on my way. There's no doubt. The more spiritual I became in these cell blocks of horror, the more I distanced myself from the religious poisoning that molded my earlier studies. but this was the great benefit that emerged from great darkness. Make no mistake, I was a criminal. 32 years ago, I was a 17-year-old miscreant. I had been involved in 2 high-speed car chases with Tarrant County Police around Fort Worth, Texas. Another 17-year-old named Joey in, what's the name of that place? Willis, Texas. Not too many of you know about Willis, Texas. He taught me how to steal GM motor cars with a flathead screwdriver through the tilt box. Yeah, I learned all that stuff. Going through the side of the tilt box, open up, break the housing on. They don't make them like this anymore, so I'm not afraid of telling you. But back then, you took the flathead screwdriver, broke the housing on the tilt box, shoved it in there. There's a little gear in there on the ignition with teeth, but you can't pull it back until you bend this stainless steel steering column lock. You got to get under it just right, pull down, break that lock out the way, then put the flathead in the teeth, pull back once, and all the lights come on. Pull back a little bit harder, and the vehicle turns on. And when he told me this, and I started experimenting, I got kind of happy with it, and I stole a lot of cars. And if I stole your car, I'm sorry. This is a long time ago. This is the 80s. So anyway, I may not look it, guys, but I am 49 years old. And it's just prison preserves. There's no doubt prison preserves you. I stole a Ford Ranchero, and I ditched it as a police cruiser tried to pull me over. But on foot, I ran through a neighborhood jumping fences as 6 or 7 police cruisers were all trying to catch me. I'm talking about they're going street to street. Some of them were on foot and all that. And then a helicopter started pursuing, and I was in North Richland Hills by the time that I ditched the Ranchero. The Ranchero was fast. I ditched that Ranchero, and I ran on foot. When I was running on foot, I came to a place called Bell Helicopter. At Bell Helicopter, I jumped the fence and I left my jacket on a triple barbed wire. I ran across. This is a true story, guys. I ran across, and the helicopter and all the police cars were still looking in the trees in the neighborhood behind me. I'm running for dear life, and I hear something coming up. This is crazy. But I hear something coming up behind me, and I'm running for dear life. And this guy on a golf cart in a blue shirt and a little old tin badge or whatever, he's trying to catch me on a golf. He's just Bell security. He's just Bell Helicopter security on an old primitive golf cart. So I run even faster, get to the other fence, and I cut myself real bad with barbed wire. I still got the scar. I'm going over the fence, but I got away from this big fat guy on a golf cart. It's just like the movies. He was in a golf cart. He wasn't going to get out that golf cart. He was just making a showing. But there was a train on the other side. And I jumped on the train just like the movies. And when I jumped up, it nearly ripped my arms off my body. And I got a bruise on the front of my body from the whiplash because my whole body slammed into the side of that train, knocked the breath out of me. But I held on for dear life, and I ended up in Holton City by the time the train slowed enough for me to get off of it. But yeah, that's true story, guys. That really happened. So, I mean, I don't know, weeks later, I was sent to jail. It doesn't matter. All that running didn't do me any good. Weeks later, I was sent to juvenile hall, and I was afforded the opportunity to go home. Now, many of you know my story. You know, at 15 years old, I left home, Southern Baptist raised Puritan. My mother was a church administrator. I wasn't going back in that environment. So that's what I told the judge. I was offered to go home after 3 days in juvenile. I refused. So the judge sent me 30 days state school. This is kids prison. I hadn't committed any felonies really, but they knew that I had an unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. But they sent me to kids prison, and but I was a rebellious soul too. So Gainesville State School just had a new security fence installed, and a large group of witnesses like prison guards, families, a whole bunch of inmates that were there too. They were all watching this guy dressed as a Green Beret try to climb the chain link fence and get to the mesh, and he can't get his fingers in the mesh, and he makes a real big deal about it because the fence is curved, and he's trying to get up this way, and he falls down like 3 times, and he turns around and tells the warden it's impossible. I can't climb this fence. With all my military training, I should be able to get over this fence. Everybody claps. I'm watching this Barnum and Bailey circus show, and I'm like, wow, really? That's amazing. I'm not amazed that he couldn't get over the fence. I'm amazed that all these people are just, I don't know, man. I've never fit in. I've never gone with the collective, ever. Never. 3 weeks later, I escaped. I escaped Gainesville State School. It has haunted me my whole life. It was one of the things that came up in court. after my kidnapping. Yeah, it's the reason why I spent so much time in maximum security. State of Texas on file couldn't trust me. I was a runner. So yeah, it affected me. The escape modifier on my file, well, it was over with. I never could get a good job or anything like that. So anyway, having said all that, I trekked through the woods of Texas for 2 days while father and son teams and pickup trucks with shotguns, 410s, 30-30s, whatever, man, 9mm are all through the forest for 2 days trying to hunt me down. They're trying to kill me. They weren't fixing trying to take me in. Not an escaped fugitive. They're going to shoot. Here in Texas, a shoot. That's all they're going to do. I got away, though. It's a crazy story. Maybe that's another video sometime. But I guess a woman picked me up, and I ended up staying with her for a long time. But yeah, crazy story. Months later, after working more odd jobs, I ran into Joey again. Remember, Joey's the guy that I was stealing cars with. I was 16. Then I was 17. Well, I run into Joey again. While after state school, I'm 17 now. Just turned 17. So, I had just learned about the location of my mom. I had never met her, and this is my biological mother. I was adopted at 5. Joey went with me to Houston, and I met my mom. We stayed there for 2 days with my biological mother. I got to know her a little bit. We were just two 17-year-olds doing some dumb shit. We were using a .22 pistol, and we were shooting smiley faces and stop signs all over Houston. Dumb shit. But that's my background. That's what we did. After I met my mother, we got told we wanted to go back to Haltom City, but we never put oil or fluids in the cars we stole. So we needed another car, and this is where everything happened for me in a flash. I'm not, like I'm saying, I'm no victim here. I put myself in prison. I often wonder if every bit of it was scripted, like some of you have thought in the emails. But the series of events that happened so fast just had me reeling hours later when I was at the police station. I already told you guys in another video, I'm probably not a very good kidnapper. I mean, I took the victim straight to the police. So, because I didn't sign up for that, but it doesn't even matter. I mean, we'll get to it in a minute. We stole a Lexus, but we also took the girl who was in it. Well, she wasn't in it at the time. She was in the parking lot, and Joey pulled out the pistol and demanded her keys, took her keys. She was 19. We were 17. She was not going to be separated from her dad's Lexus, and we promised to give it back, but we had no intention on giving that Lexus back. We were probably going to leave her in a gas station. Now, in Texas, once you're 17, you're an adult. But I'm going to tell you now, things went real fast. And I was driving, and they were in the back seat. And before I knew it, she had her clothes off. And it wasn't willful. John did that 100%. So 22 pistol made it aggravated. So now we're looking at all kinds of trumped up charges. It's no longer unlawful use of a motor vehicle. This got serious really, really fast. Removing the clothes all automatically became sexual assault. Kidnapping charges would see a person in prison for a very long time. Illegal possession of a firearm, the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony automatically made it aggravated. In less than 4 or 5 minutes, my whole life was scripted right then and there, just like that. So, like I said, though, I'm not innocent. I put myself 100% into this position. But I didn't have to get in the car. I didn't have to drive. So as we drove, it got really dark. I don't mean outside. I mean, I never saw the side of Joey that came out in that car talking about with me openly in front of this terrified 19-year-old that he can't have no witnesses. He can't have no witness and all that. To make a long story short, I just paraphrase real quick. I made him go get us some rotisserie hot dogs. I didn't make him. I just told him, hey man, go get us some of those hot dogs, man. We all want to eat. We were on our way to Dallas Fort Worth. We had just made it to a place about an hour north of Huntsville, and he wanted to kill her, and I basically stopped that. But he wasn't happy with it, and I knew that he was gonna probably have his way. He still had the pistol on him, so I had him go get us some rotisserie hot dogs and some Cokes. I said, "Hey man, let's at least get something to eat, man. We got a long drive to Haltom City." I had no intention of letting John getting back in that car. Anyway, we made it back to Haltom City, but without John. I left him in there. We went to the only police station that I knew the location of at that time. Went in there, told them the full story. And in Texas, I guess it's the wrong thing to do. I wrote a full statement against myself and everything that happened, thinking that it was going to make a difference. Because I didn't sign up for this, so I didn't mind signing my John Doe to a full confession. So anyway, that's the story. That's what happened. And it shocks me how fast these events had developed. It's unusual. So working with Mark Vincent, the prosecutor, and I can't say her name. But her family spoke so highly of me and all that. I didn't get near the sentence and time John got. I was supposed to get out of prison by the time I was 24 years old, but it has nothing to do with John. It has nothing to do with anything other than my own hard-headed stupidity. Because once I was in prison, I started making my own way. I started doing really dumb shit. So I started doing things to secure my lengthened confinement. I did it to myself. There's no doubt. So while this was 32 years ago, some people still take offense, and I get that, man. I do. But I'm not going to cease my message because someone now has a reason to hate the messenger. Do you see how weird that is? There's no way. So, I mean, I get emails from time to time of people that are triggered. I can't believe you did this. Can't believe you did that. And, you know, they're reaching back 32 years to an incident when I was 17 years old. And now they're dismissing all the Archaix data based off something I personally involved in. And that, to me, is very unusual. That it shows me the architecture of their personality. There's no problem with me. The problem is with them. And I don't know. I just went on a rant. I'm sorry. But I don't know, man. It's a weird life, man. But over and over through my presentations, I have promised to reveal more and more about certain topics. And I always do. I always deliver. I had promised to reveal more about myself, and I've done personal videos showing my childhood, my work, you know, all kinds of things, my personal philosophies. I've always done that. And in this video, I've revealed even more. But I'm now preparing some epic presentations, but likewise believe that not everybody is ready. They're just not ready, nor is everybody worthy. When people judge a book by its cover and not the contents, they aren't spiritually nor intellectually prepared to move forward. I mean, if you don't like my message because you disagree with elements of my past, I mean, that made me who I am, that's a real dark aspect of your personality. So basically, here's how, let's sum it up like this. This means that you believe that I'm the same person today that I was 32 years ago as a 17-year-old. And this is ridiculous because you would never, ever claim the same about yourself. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking about a few of the people that have sent me emails, left some stupid comments on my channel, all that. So, but I'm telling you all these things, getting very personal with you. Because it's true. There is no way that anybody with my history could then say, you know, I'm a Mason. I mean, really? I would not be allowed into the Masonic fraternity. I'm a gatekeeper. No agent of the Mossad or the deep state could have my past. Hell. One guy on YouTube is claiming I'm controlled opposition. I don't know how he gets that. I do not know how he gets that. That just really shocks me. But I don't know. It's just my rant is over with because I'm living a normal life today. I got my voting rights restored. I'm soon to be a property owner. Y'all seen my van. I'm proud of it. I got a beautiful motorcycle, the studio. People are sending me some fantastic, very old books, and I will be sharing them with you on videos. So everything's good. My rights, privileges, and immunities have been restored. But I don't know. I get emails all the time from people. I really shouldn't read them all. You know, I've made a lot of friends, received donations, and several times I've met Archaix subs at Starbucks, at Chili's, went to restaurants with a few. David, I know you're listening to me from Montana, Montana Badlands. My family, my friends, I don't know, my publisher, my close neighbors, my girlfriends, since I've been out of prison these 6 years, everybody knows my past and my history. You know, my listeners are owed that too. Many of you become a new family, not bound by blood or pedigree, race or superstition, but by the invisible cords that connect errants everywhere. We all have demons trying to chain us to the past. I'm not the only one, so I don't need to waste any more time in this live presentation with this type of rant. I just wanted to get these things off my chest because I'm always telling you guys, you got to break free or die trying. So I live by example. There is nothing in my past I'm going to allow to impede my future. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So when you come to my channel and you get triggered over different stuff, you know, you might want to think before you say things and before you get blocked, because I will block user. There's no doubt about it. I got some pretty good moderators too that will do the same. But I've been talking for so long, I better do another audio check. Let me look at this chat. I can barely see all this text. Okay, thank you, Jahara. Thank you, guys. Macbeth, Phoenix Protocol. Oh, that's a cool name. Thank you, Wendy. Wow, 42-minute rant? Damn. I should have saved that rant for a van vlog. Discord. I keep hearing about Discord. Why I want to do something with there, man? Deborah Lasorda, you're absolutely correct, and that was a major factor in me not getting a lot of time. Like I said, I kept myself in prison. I was going to get out by the time I was 24. But you're absolutely correct. That was a major factor why I wasn't given much time. Erica Rodriguez, I don't even want to know what that past is. Jahara Lee, you already know, I know. Already know, I know. Hello, I am Crypto. Okay, that rant's over with. That's 42 minutes, guys. We got over 1,000 people. Man, that's good. Listen, it's Q&A time. Freestyle. No limits. Your hardest questions right now, if you got them, if you got the guts to ask, I promise you I got the guts to answer. So, because I don't want to go all the way back up through this thread list, and they're not going to let me either. They're not going to let me. YouTube won't let me go so far up. So, you fire off with them questions, even if you've already asked them, in all caps, and you fire those questions off right now at the bottom. Truth is knowledge. Yes, it is. Truth is knowledge. I do have something to say about that, though. Thank you for the donation. Listen, we have a problem because today, what is that old quote? We're not accepting truth as the authority, but rather the authority as the truth. It's supposed to be the other way around. Yeah, it's supposed to be the other way around. Just like government. Government isn't supposed to tell us what to do. We're supposed to be telling the government what to do. That's the way it was specifically, that was the way it was originally designed. That's why they were called public servants from the beginning. Yeah. I'm not aiming that at none of law enforcement. As a matter of fact, here's how ironic it is. I'm an ex-con, having spent a lot of time in prison for some particularly heinous stuff. On paper, it looks real bad. But you know what? I had a 20 or 25-minute conversation with a state trooper in Texas today at the post office, just sitting there chopping it up. He was talking about, you know, when I go on light errands, I take my motorcycle because my bags and I have a like a leather pouch deal. I don't even know where it's at, but I have a deal that I wear. Oh, here it is. On light errands, I just put this sling on. It's just a sling like a bandolier. It goes over me. I can fit all my mail in here, and I just take it. I go to the post office almost every single day, and I just ran into him, and he made a comment about my bike, and we just sat there and chopped it up. He's a state trooper. I mean, he probably ran my license plate to make sure I had insurance. He probably ran my license plate and instantly knew who I was, because in Texas they do. As soon as I've already had other officers tell me, as soon as they run it in, they know exactly who you are and how long you were in prison and how long you were out. So I've had a lot of conversations in public places with law enforcement. I don't have any problem with law enforcement. One of my best buds in the world. Y'all know him. Y'all see me. All the van vlogs are going to his place and coming back. Y'all see me do videos out there. He spent many years in law enforcement. He was a police officer for a long time. My best bud. It's just weird. It's just weird. Bikers, veterans, and cops. That's my circle. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I'm running my mouth again. Look at all these questions. Oh, slow down those questions. Slow them down. Okay, Jason, which map do you use regarding today's world? You the best, man. Where's that map? I got maps everywhere. Here's the one time somebody asked me about a map and none of them are out. I got to find my maps, guys. I got to find my maps. Okay, I did one video explaining this. Damn, it's so why you got to ask me about maps, because you know your question is really aimed at flat Earth. You know it. So listen, I have one video explaining that when I got out of prison, I had never even ever entertained flat Earth. I would have laughed at you. Oh, I wasn't trying to hear that. I still wasn't trying to hear it until I started my YouTube channel. Because the only thing that made sense about the Phoenix, that it's a controlled construct and therefore the sky must be domed. So I'm like, because of the perfect regularity that I documented in the Phoenix Protocol, there's no way, it cannot be natural. It's mechanistic. It's too perfect. So therefore I concluded that the sky must be vaulted. It must be a dome. So that's what got me into zetetic astronomy. I wasn't a flat earther, but I read it to see what the arguments were. And I agreed. I found that because most of my research is logic based, I couldn't ignore it. So it led me to Gleason. 1880. I read this book. 1890. Oh wow, I just did a video on 1890 and never even mentioned this book. This book was written in 1890 and published in 1890. Packed full of data showing that we live on an absolute flat plane. So having now, I'm not going to put that up. Now, I've explained in many of my videos that anytime I come in contact with information that I cannot refute, I have to incorporate it into my paradigm. It is the incorporation of new data into my paradigm, which has many, many, many data sets for other beliefs and belief systems, that allows me to make new discoveries. And that's what happened. I agree that we're living on a flat plane. I agree that the stellosphere is domed and it's a construct. Taking those two into consideration, I immediately had to reassess a lot of my historical data that I have documented in my unpublished notes and in my Chronicon. And that is the unusual patterns of migrations and invasions throughout ancient history. They didn't make sense to me. One of them that I've heavily documented is the Sea People's Confederation. How in the hell did navies from the Americas invade the Mediterranean? How did it happen? So I wanted to, that question about the map, I show in that video that what I learned about the Amorite, the Amuru, and the ancient Israelite migrations and how they got to where they were, they don't make sense on the Portalin projection. They don't make sense on the Mercator map. They don't make sense on a globe. They don't. And yet still, I don't want to be called a flat earther because I'm a simulationist. And in simulation theory, I can see it. I can see a flat plane where a map is spread out. And it looks like the flat earth map. It looks like the United Nations map. It looks like all that. And this map is the reason why we can explain how the Chinese made it to the west coast of the Americas over and over and over. Not on a globe map. There's way too much distance, but not on a flat earth map. Because on a flat earth map, ancient navies like the Chinese had could have hugged the coast all the way to North America. All the way. If things were making sense to me in the ancient Chinese annals of Qin Wu and these 250,000 Chinese people sailing in a certain direction, doesn't make sense on a globe, but it makes sense on a flat earth map. where they went. Yeah, man, it's that's the best answer I can give to your question. I have one video explaining that if only a flat Earth map makes sense of all the migrations of different races and invasions, naval invasions in the ancient world. You would have to reassess all these using a flat Earth map to understand what was going on, because you're going to get nowhere on a globe map. So now, does that mean the world's flat? I don't know. I believe we're living in a simulation, and I believe that there are two different simulations running simultaneously at the same time. One of them is a construct that we're all participating in, and it's fixed, and the other one is the individual, and it's not fixed. It can become all things. It can do all things, and it's I tell you guys all the time, we are more than we suppose ourselves to be. How do we fight the AIX sky machine? I don't think we can. I don't think we're meant to. I think that just like I was explaining the answer before, listen, you guys can't be scared of the apocalypse, the sixth seal, the coming of the Nemesis X object. All these things, you cannot fear these things, because fear makes you a participant. Take the simplest situations in your daily life into the whole. It's real simple. If two and an unchained dog lunges at them, outwardly in fear is the one that... Listen, you can take every single small little thing that happens to you in your daily life and you can apply it to the whole. Man, nature in reality itself is absolutely instructive. I learned so much just from watching insects in a prison cell. Imagine how much you could learn if learning was all you were trying to do, and you just left your house at 9 o'clock in the morning with no agenda, got in your vehicle, parked it, and just started walking. You would be surprised, because you just broke pattern. And when you break pattern, the simulacrum responds, because you have done something that is anomalous, and it must investigate. And while it's investigating what the hell you're doing that is outside the norm, because it knows every single reality tunnel that you took thousands of times. Remember, 3 years is 1,095 days. That's 1,095 days the simulacrum has patterned your life. It knows you better than you do. So when you do something different, if you take a different road, get out your vehicle at a different time, explore a different place, you're always going to be baffled about who you meet. The simulacrum is going to put things in front of you, trying to corral you back into normal frames of reference. It does not like to know that it cannot predict an errant. It doesn't like that shit at all. And the more you do it, the more good things are going to be coming into your life. The reason is because you are acting as an anomaly. You are a malfunction. Malfunctions are not repaired. They're not corrected. Malfunctions are excised. You are basically banished from the collective. And once you're banished from the collective, guess what? You're also divorced from dungeon programming, all the brainwashing, all the slave mentality of the collective. Yeah, you got to do things different. If you're living a life today that is very, very similar to the life you were living last week, you're not breaking pattern. So don't expect a lot of changes to come into your life. If you're not willing to do something that's completely unpredictable, then don't expect unpredictable things to just manifest into your life. It's not going to happen at all. Truth is knowledge. Thank you. Can the Phoenix event be prevented with what we know? Guys, Stephen Weiser, you must be new to my channel. No. I don't. I hate to be the bearer of bad news to those who perceive it as bad news, because a lot of people do. But I don't believe the Phoenix is meant to be avoided at all. I don't believe that we have to fear the Phoenix. I believe that all throughout history, there were groups of people who actually invited the Phoenix. They performed rituals to bring the Phoenix. They wanted the Phoenix to do the things that it did. So, no. Roman Catholic Church has much to answer for. because they basically banished all the information about the Phoenix, rewrote all these books, eliminating references to the Phoenix. But you know, strangely enough, they never omitted all these little independent facts that we can put together, like the Phoenix Chronology. And I've told you guys, I don't want to beat you up with this, because I've told you guys in multiple videos that, I mean, Aristarchus is 2484 years. The Mayans 2760, like doomsday countdown. The 2070 years of the Inca. These are very specific numbers, very specific numbers. The Phoenix cycle of 552 years. Nostradamus' reference about before the flood, 1242 years. Highly specific numbers. All these old systems that date the Geigian deluge at 2208 Annus Mundi. 2208, very specific, and every single one of them divisible by 138. So the Phoenix was known, the knowledge of the Phoenix was known. The Roman Catholic Church is the reason you don't know it today. So I don't believe it's to be feared at all. Don't believe it's to be feared. And if you want to put this into like a spiritual, a spiritual Christian gnosis context, because there is an amalgamation between the two. Let me best sum it up for you. You have these two epic collections of texts, the Alpha and the Omega of the Bible. One is Genesis, one is Revelation. Everything in the middle is subject to interpretation by race, by culture, by creed, and it's all BS. You can eliminate everything in between Genesis and Revelation. Everything. It's all the inventions of men. My Dark Scripture playlist goes into a lot of detail about that. But the template for this simulacrum is encoded in Genesis. It's encoded in the book of Revelation, the beginning and the end. The reason you don't have anything to fear about the apocalypse is in the beginning of Revelation. The introductory chapters to Revelation are all the promises that are going to be given to the redeemed, the elect, basically the errants. Read those chapters, you will see those are codes. It's not talking, it says you'll be given a white stone with a new name. It's talking about your garment. In the old mystery schools, the white stone was also a white robe. And any time that you were given a name change, it's because you were recognized that you had passed into another world. And in that new world, the old name would not apply. This is why in the Old Testament, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. The name change is fundamental to promises of receiving an eternal avatar that is so powerful that God basically has to make sure that the personality that's going to inhabit it is worthy. This is what the first chapters of Revelation are about. They're not doomsaying, they're not apocalyptic at all. They're promises. So once you get past the promises, then the promises go into, and this is what you need to watch out for. This is when the unveiling will occur. And to make sure that you will never misjudge the timing, you are given 6 events. The first seal, the second seal, the third seal, the fourth seal, the fifth seal, and then the 6th seal is the Phoenix. The sun darkens, the moon turns red, rocks fall from the sky. You're given all these things. But the seals are broken from a scroll. The apocalypse hasn't begun yet. This scroll's given to the errants so they'll know the times. So they'll know when this first scroll's broken, this is what's going to follow. And then this is what's going to follow. And then but it's all manufactured. None of this is the apocalypse. The 6th seal is broken and introduces the 7th seal. And the 7th seal is the interim. No events happen on earth. The events are happening somewhere on the outside of the construct, but they're mentioned in the 7 seals. There is a preparation for great judgments that are about to fall on the world. That's when the apocalypse begins. It is after the 7 seals are broken, so the tetramorph can read the scroll of prophecy, which is all about the apocalypse in the leading up to the events of the return of the chief cornerstone. So I don't know what question to set that off. You guys already know I'm just going to take off. Why is Sedona and the Grand Canyon red and very spiritual? I don't know. There's places on this planet that are, or world, don't get triggered, but there's places in our world, guys, that are just absolutely packed with red earth. And we have many, many, many scientific reports. We can thank Charles Fort and others that there has been documented a whole range. Just imagine red sand falling on your ship while you're in the Pacific, hundreds of miles away from the nearest island, and you got to call all hands on deck to get sweeps, to continually sweep sand off your deck before your ship capsizes. Yeah, these are real historical reports. That's a lot of sand falling from the blue sky. Mad Prism. Why is 1998 the isometric epicenter? Well, I know 1998 is 666 times 3. I don't know if that's relevant, but 1998 is a major pivotal year in the Great Pyramid's chronometry. The Great Pyramid, being a revealer of secrets on time, is exactly what Edgar Cayce said. Further, Edgar Cayce said that to understand, he said, an understanding of the beginning of the last days and the return of the world's leader, the world's God, or whatever, begins in 1998. Edgar Cayce said that. I have found the references to 1998 in the chronometry of the Great Pyramid, and I have further verified that 1998 is the last day's isometric epicentral year. It's easy. Anybody can do what I did. Anybody. Just watch my predictions playlist, use 1998, and go forward and backward in time and look at all the historical events that happened leading up to 1998 and look at the corresponding year, the wave rings, the ripples, going all the way down, and you will see they mirror each other all the way. This is why predicting events is not mysterious. By predicting events, you're basically looking at the architecture of our time-space structure. It's not even complex at all. An errant, immortal, somebody named Immortal. That's a good one. What is an errant? Okay, from a simulated context, the simulacrum controlled by a parasite program called AIX, Artificial Intelligence X, tries to keep everybody in controlled reality tunnels. Islam, Christianity, Taoism, Democrats, Russians. If it's a group, it's a reality tunnel. If it's a culture, it's a reality tunnel. Bulgarians, doesn't matter. Texans, it doesn't matter. If you are in a group, that's part of a reality tunnel. Many reality tunnels coalesce. They have to, because people are members of different types of groups. I am a middle-aged Caucasian Texan, conservative Republican American citizen, ex-con. Okay, that's many different holographic templates overlaying each other, and you're subject to many of them too. An errant is someone who is not staying within the boundaries that were set forth by the simulacrum for that construct. An errant is somebody who's doing unpredictable behavior, and there is too much energy expenditure in trying to corral errants back in. So once they go through a phase of coincidence and synchronicity, of Mandela effect, some of them go through Great Depression, maybe even seeing things that aren't there, schizophrenic stuff. Errants go through a lot before they actually they pass over into a new holography, and they're no longer subject to the collective. Remember, you guys can never quote it enough. When the human mind is stretched by a new idea, it can never go back to its original dimensions. When the human mind realizes the collective is full of shit, it can never go back to the collective's full of shit. Simple as that. Just can't. An errant is somebody who is considered as a malfunction, because a truly functioning avatar is one that obeys everything that all the rest of the collective are obeying as well. If you're not, you're an errant. You are in error. Where can we hide when 2040 comes? Rico Suave. That's a very interesting name. I've read some stuff about Rico Suave, but I'm going to tell you now, Rico, the very question implies that you have to hide because Phoenix is going to come after you. It's the wrong question you're asking, because the question implies that you're going to participate in a behavior for which Phoenix is going to hunt you for. You got to break free or die trying, my friends. The moment you feel fear, then you're basically knitting the circumstances by which you will truly need to feel fear. What is the most important thing we need to know? Kate Nakagawa. That's a good, that's a good question. It's all encompassing, universal. But I think that one of the greatest things you need to know is that you need to recognize on a daily basis that you're living in a construct and that you are a spiritual being and that none of this really matters. It doesn't matter. This is a dark, hellish world, but it's a beautiful construct. But you are intuition, you are empathy, and you are imagination. And those three make for you this great spiritual being that you are. You're a divine personality, but you are not the avatar that you inhabit. And you need to remember that on a daily basis, because remembering that you are actually separate from the body that you inhabit will actually afford you great power over individuals, over circumstances, and over the construct itself. Once you truly understand that being fearless isn't about bravado, you're going to do great things, and you're going to help others do great things as well. Jason, if you could go to any point in time, when and where would it be? Well, who shot JR? I don't know. I'm happy where I'm at, man. Really am. But for the sake of the exercise, I will I would love, with my present frames of reference and knowledge, to go back to 1752 in Norway, Slovenge, and be a spectator of the octagonal construction that appeared in the sky, because I would be able to ascertain information from those optics that other people couldn't, because I'm from the future. Simple as that. I did a video about it. What astrology book did you recommend? More precious than rubies. Okay. In 1893, a book was published called Influence of the Zodiac on Human Life. I didn't believe in astrology, didn't give a damn about it until I read that book, and it convinced me. And it's a very small book. And I saw it on Amazon the other day when somebody asked for it. I looked for it. It's like $6. Book from 1893, nails. It will nail your horoscope. Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome book. When did the moon show up? Oh, Ed Bragg. I'm going to trigger some people now. Unless you're familiar with my chronographical research and you've seen my data sets, unless you're not going to understand this, but I'm going to tell you now. In the year 4039 in November, the moon appeared, and it separated history. From that point on, human cultures were basically dividing themselves between pre-Selenites and post-Selenites. The Semitic records call them sinners, basically of the moon or from the moon. It was recognized that an entire race of people appeared at the same time the moon appeared. It was also recognized in Antiquity that many of them stayed on the moon, a construct. So, but that was then. I believe now the skies are showing as simulated. I don't believe it's really there anymore. I believe it happened in the past, but we're living multitudes of simulations. So yeah, it's. The pre-Selenites were the cultures that recognized that they existed prior to the appearance of the moon. Emmanuel Zelikowski wrote about them, but he didn't really write more than anything that his sources wrote, which was Hans Boehringer and Hans Bellamy in 1901 and 1870s. I do not believe the Phoenix can be prevented, and I don't think we should. No. How does 1811, 1812 fit into the Chronicon? Well, I've mentioned it. It's an unusual series of earthquakes that just hit America and were felt on the other side of the world. Strange things we're seeing in the sky. I'll probably do some videos on it. I have it in my notes. I believe that I have I got a folder here. I have a folder here full of notes on the 1800s that I was going to go, Campbell and I were going to talk about. Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm going back on with Campbell Autodidactic this month sometime. Why is Jesus in the Bible if Jews hate him? That is a good question. Good question. Because when he first appeared on the scene, they got dead in his face and told him, "You ain't one of us. You're a man of Galilee." Another one said, he says, "Shoot, you know the scriptures, then you'll know no prophet of Israel has ever come from Galilee." So yeah, they recognized that they were racially different from Jesus. They didn't like him. They weren't going to have him just show up in town, man, talking about their law and their doctrine and all that stuff. Yeah. I got some real good videos on Jesus. Dark Scriptures playlist. Chitlins Landry, question. What will we do if nothing happens in 2040 and 2046? I can't even answer the question. I have so many data sets that 300 and something videos doesn't even cover them all. I'm still releasing new information, published books. There's no way. It's the collective is written in stone. Yeah, that's you can bet on that. Nostradamus isn't wrong. Mother Shipton's not wrong. Yeah. When the Sun Darkens, Anunnaki, Homeworld, Nostradamus and the Plants of Apocalypse, and Shocking Secrets of Antiquity isn't wrong either. Yeah, you can expect that in 2040 and 2046. And you might be new to my information now, but I've been publishing this information since 2004. I have never changed those dates. I can't, because the entire construct that we call world history leads up to those two dates. So you think time exists outside the simulacrum? Of course I do. As a matter of fact, the real reality is outside the simulacrum. There's nothing here real. We're living the photo negative of a real universe right now. We're living in a containment field. We're living in a containment field that is so perfectly contained that there's no threat whatsoever of outside contamination. Everything happens in here, so it doesn't bleed out there. Yeah, you're in a Star Trek holodeck, my friend. And it doesn't take anything away from your spirituality at all. Yeah, you guys do need Trudell out there pretty bad. There's no doubt. Damselfly Moldavite. Wow, that's an interesting name. Listen, how much of our future is changeable? Guys, you need to go back and look at my other live presentations and live videos, or spend some time on my We Immortals playlist. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I fully outline for you how you understand that in the personal, you can change the events of your life within 24 hours. You can make some profound things happen for you. I've done it. I've even given examples in my videos. So in the collective, you're not changing anything. This world will be just as evil as the way you found it when you were born. You're not changing anything. You're going to expend the most miserable people in the world. There's actually two types. One is the religious fundamentalist who believes that what they do will alter the outcome of events in this world for the better. And by the time they're on their deathbed, they have wasted their entire life and they feel it. They haven't made a difference. The world is far more evil now than it was when they were born. This is, you're not here to change the world. The world is a construct. It's all illusory. And it will go, you're here to develop an immortal personality. And that's all that matters. While you're here, all that matters is what you do for yourself and the few other individuals that you can make a difference with. Because it's not up to you to change anything. The construct doesn't need you to change anything. It's not going to let you. So it's yeah, you're here to develop you. You're here to fully develop your intuition, your empathy, and your imagination. Because these are the elements of your divine immortalhood. These are what make you who you are, not your avatar. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, hit that like button. If you like what I'm saying, guys, hit that like button. Smash that like button. Thank you, Michelle. I'm looking for some hard questions. What do you think the orphan trains were all about in the late 1800s? Okay, well, initially, as a historian, I believe the narrative. And the narrative is the orphan trains began after the Irish potato famine because the Irish were dying. They were sending their kids over here on ships with what little money they had left. The parents were staying back in Ireland and dying. And I don't know if the historical narrative is true or not. I don't know if that's accurate. I know that's a part of what I read was the West needed more people because the infrastructure was being built everywhere, but there wasn't enough people to fill it all, and it was a lot of land. United States was just exploding. So I don't know if the narrative's true, but there's a lot of people that have information about the orphan trains. Could be something else. And I have documented and I have videos about 1902 and about 1890 where we may have experienced some very unusual resets. And the problem with that is when you're living inside a construct, it's very difficult to find direct proof or direct evidence that there's been edits, that there's been material that has been changed. All we can do is basically go with our intuition and cite what we know has changed, and then basically develop theories. And I've done that with 5 1902 videos showing you all the things that exploded onto the world scene within a 12-month period from 1902 to 1903. Now, they don't make sense outside the context that something very unusual had happened for which we have no history of. Not having a single mention of history, and yet having, let me put it this way, that we can observe historically that something happened by so many different effects that occurred, but we can't see the cause. That should be cause for alarm right there. That means we've been specifically blinded so something's been edited out that for us not to know. But we still can derive a conclusion that something happened by everything that followed. Let's see. JT, you know what? You have having voting rights restored mean a thing, sir? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. All it means is legally, I'm just a little freer than I used to be. That's all. It's nothing. What's your take on Bigfoot, the abominable snowman, Yeti, Sasquatch? Okay, I'm going to tell you something you've never heard before. The very first historically documented case of a Sasquatch, Yeti, Bigfoot type is in the book of Jasher. And there was a hero named Zepho who basically went to Italia during the reign of King Latinus. And the people were terrified of this human-like shaggy thing that would come out at night and kill their goats and sheep and cattle. But it wouldn't really mess with them. But they knew the monster was living in a cave, and they couldn't do nothing about it. They were losing their livestock. It had to eat. Zepho went and found it, and in the book of Jasher, we have the first description of one, and it was killed by the hero Zepho. It's a Zepho. Book of Jasher is awesome. But I just want to let you know that those creatures have been around for a very long time, and they've been documented. Now, I believe that most of them they know the in and outs of the underworld. They have to, because there's too many good hunters and hunting dogs that have come up nothing. Either that or they're transdimensional and they're able to enter and exit the holography, and because they're not staying in the forest and the woods, or they would have been found. By now we would have found. There's too many ways to track. So I don't know. Thank you, Brian Gray. Really appreciate that. So yeah, you need to read, if you want to read things on cryptids and cryptozoology, you need to, Jacques Vallée, Our Haunted Planet is a really good, it might not be Jacques Vallée, it might be somebody else. The book is called Our Haunted Planet. You would love that book. Well, I'm not, Patricia Steer, It's a hard question to answer because I believe in my worldview, I believe that anything you prepare for, you buy into. Anything you prepare for good or for bad, you buy into. So for me to be able to tell you where's the best place, and then for you to act on it, well, it may have been the best place for me, but not for you. So, I mean, I can tell you, Patricia, she asked, I know it's about no fear, but where's the best place to be for the Phoenix? So from a personal perspective, I know that I'm going to be above the 33rd degree, the parallel, somewhere north of the 30, 31st, 32nd, 33rd parallel in the United States in 2040. I know I'm going to be north of that because I know that North America is going to move lithospheric displacement in the simulator. We're going to move 30 degrees south. Well, I know this for a fact because tsunamis are often created not because something happens in the ocean during a pole shift, but because the land mass moves faster than the water can keep up. So I'm not going to be in Willis, Texas, where I am now. I'm not going to be in Willis, Texas in May 2040 because it's a very good chance that Willis, Texas is going to get wet from the Gulf of Mexico because all this is going straight south. Canada is basically going to assume the region of the United States, and most of the United States is going to become where Mexico is today. Mexico is going to pass over the equatorial bulge, and it's going to be heavily damaged. And the southern portions of South America are going into the freezing zones. Yeah, but on the other side of the world, and it doesn't matter if you believe in a globe or if you believe in a flat plane, because on both models, the land masses are separated by an Atlantic on one side and a Pacific on the other. So it doesn't matter if the whole disk of the world shifts 30 degrees this way, or on a globe, the world turns 30 degrees. With this being China going up to Siberia, Australia going up to China, and over here, the Americas going this way. Doesn't matter what your paradigm is because the effect is the same. And Giza, Egypt, the Great Pyramid, is the center of all motion because it's the axis mundi. It does not move. It only turns. Safest place to be when you're talking about radial energy is to the epicenter because it's the least center of motion. You want to be super safe? Go to Egypt. Go to Israel. All right. What if evil defined everything in the dictionary? How would you unravel that mess? I don't know. It's all subject to interpretation. It's all subject. You can call Jason evil all you want, but there's people who find value in what Jason teaches, despite anything else about Jason. So you could call me evil, but it's not, that interpretation is not going to be accepted by everybody. I don't know anything about Ramtha. That's a word I've never heard before. Okay, good question, Rogi. Okay, the world's not going to end in 2106. 2106 is the return of the chief cornerstone, the stone the builders rejected, the stone uncut by human hands. There is a prophecy in the book of Daniel that shows the empires of the world and how they were represented as metal empires, the gold and the silver, the bronze and the iron. And there was a double layering to this prophetic narrative, meaning in ancient times that was Babylon, in Persia, in Greece, in Rome, and then Rome divided into two legs of iron, but those two legs became two empires. One was the Roman Greek Byzantine, and one was the Roman Western, became the Roman Catholic Church Vatican. So and then the iron toes the iron legs turned into 10 toes of iron mixed with miry clay. Okay, we have a reference here in the prophetic narrative that at the end of the period of Rome, the descendants of the Roman people would mix with a very spiritual people who were of a different pedigree. This miry clay, because clay is considered holy. It's not like a metal. The Romans were metal, a government. Now, clay is close to stone. So Rome did disintegrate, and it basically disintegrated into all these Caucasian European countries. And there was a bunch of intermarrying between dilapidated Rome, and this prophecy was basically had come true. Now, there's a double layering, because the next series of gold, silver, whatever it was, it was totally different. And there's many different ways, different people interpret it in different ways. But the last series was concerning different nations like Russia, Israel, Britain, and the United States. And I don't know which. I really don't know, because I am so separated with a lot of the Christian eschatology now, because it gets very confusing in its applications. But I do know that the Christian prophecies are very clear that the stone uncut by human hands descends in the last days and destroys the metal empires. Now, this will be 2106 AD. The stone uncut is the chief cornerstone that descends in the 204th year of the Giza calendar. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I have many videos showing that the actual layers of the Great Pyramid start a calendar that began in 1902, which is the recognized begin date for the last days. Now, it's a lot. It's really technical, too technical for a live video, but I have an entire playlist that demonstrates this and shows you the architecture, shows you the timelines, gives you the references, because it was understood, like in the book of Second Esdras, it was understood that somewhere in this world were 204 books, and those books were a calendar, they were a countdown, and they were divine. Well, it's the same thing as the 204 layers of the Great Pyramid. Starting in 1902, counting 203 layers all the way to the top, you get to 2105, which is 2105 AD, which is the signal last days year for Nostradamus. Now, he predicts something to happen in the 37th century, so far away, it's something else. But as far as our modern history right now, he said a major endpoint is in 2105. But if you add the chief cornerstone, descending from the sky to sit on top of the monument of man, the Great Pyramid, you have the number 204. And that's exactly what the Great Pyramid embodies. 203 levels going up to the 204th, the chief cornerstone, to complete the monument. Now, further, in geometry, the Great Pyramid also identifies 204, because although optically the Great Pyramid is 4 faces, it's widely known in science that there's a declivity in the center of each, but you can't see it with the naked eye. But the 4 in the middle to make it 8 faces. But it only has 4 visible faces, and each face is 51 degrees. In geometry, 51 degrees times 4 is 204. The Great Pyramid is self-referencing over and over and over. And in those videos itself, using the Annus Mundi calendar, it is a holographic template. It's a study, but you got to pay attention to my Lost Secrets of Giza playlist to know these things, to see those sources. It's fascinating study, very unbelievable unless you just take in all the data. Oh, but what happens in between, Reggie, whatever? 72 years is between. That is the Stone Kingdom. That is the 72-year period that the chief cornerstone teaches mankind what real government is. Not the gold government, not the silver, bronze, and iron, all the empires of men. The Stone Kingdom is all about teaching us, errants, what true government is, how it really works. Because we've been trying to self-govern forever, and all we do is collapse it. All we do is go to war. Disagreeable. Can you talk more about when you got lost and rode into that mysterious town and base? Okay, I can give you one piece of information that I messed up. When I was telling you guys that in that video about, okay, I got the town messed up. I confused it with a place in Texas. But in the video, it happened outside of Tulsa. That's true. But I said it was Saginaw, and that's not true. It was Sapulpa. Those of you who know the outskirts of Tulsa, when I was 15 years old, I ran away from home. I had a very unusual experience. I have no idea why I went to this place. I don't know why I went to Tulsa. Of all the places in the world that a kid could run away to, why did I go to Tulsa? I went to Tulsa and I sat in a pancake house in the 80s for a few hours all day. And then I got a wild hair up my ass just to go for a drive again. I just drove to Tulsa. Now I'm going to go driving. Now I found myself driving out of Tulsa. I don't know where I'm going. I'm a kid with my head cut off. But I went through a town called Sapulpa, not Saginaw. Right after leaving Sapulpa, within minutes, there was an exit and I took it. Maybe 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's hard to tell. It's in retrospect. It's been so many years. It's been 34 years. So I took that exit. I remember being on the road for like an hour. To me, to a kid, a long time. And there were no signs, and it was a one-way. There was nowhere around for another vehicle to get by, and it was nothing but trees, arc. You couldn't even see the sky. And I remember how unusual this was. Where am I going? Don't remember why I made that turn. Don't remember anything, but that's what I can add to the story. Now, you've already seen the video, so I don't know if you want me to reiterate. For those of you who don't know, I don't want to waste a lot of time on a video I've already done, but in a nutshell, I drove up on a facility in the middle of nowhere that had no signs anywhere. There was nothing telling me where I was, but there was big serial numbers all over the streets. And there were serial numbers on the buildings, and there was some type of military security that followed me. And I was in an industrial complex, and I was scared. It was at nighttime, and I remember making several turns, and suddenly there was a neighborhood in front of me. And I went into the neighborhood, and there was no movement. There was no street signs. There wasn't a single sign even telling me what street, what the neighborhood streets were. All the numbers were painted on the, like they were supposed to be, a helicopter was supposed to read everything. I don't know. But I made several turns, and the security was getting closer and closer behind me, like he was getting more and more interested in me. And I turned into this cul-de-sac. It was a dead end. So I didn't have any choice. I went straight to the top of the cul-de-sac, and I pulled right into the driveway behind two vehicles, and I put my vehicle in park. And as I was about to open the door and pretend to go to the front door opened, and this guy in a t-shirt and boxers stepped out and waved security away. Shocked the shit out of me. He just waved security away. Security went off, and he told me to come on in. And I don't want, you guys go watch the video. There's nothing changed from the video. He fed me. He gave me money, and he basically, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't remember if he asked me or he just started doing it. But the man got real serious and started praying over me. And he was praying seriously. And when he was done, I was feeling really unusual, but I was feeling very comfortable around him. And like I said, he gave me a lot of money and food and everything. And it was just so surreal. His wife or girlfriend was on the couch. She was barely clothed, had hardly nothing on, but she didn't move the entire time I was there. He said she was sick or something. And he prayed. He just prayed over me, and then he sat down and he told me all kinds of stuff about life. And to a kid, I don't remember what he was telling me, but I remember that it was important, and I remember thinking that he thought it was important. And I just don't remember. I don't remember much about the episode. I just remember that he made me feel real good, and it was a surprise to get money and food, and then the whole episode was over with. It was nothing unusual. Just he showed me the way out later. The whole thing was just crazy. But it's in that video, and I made a mistake when I said that video. I made a total mistake. It wasn't Saginaw. That's Texas town. It was Sapulpa, and somewhere an hour from Sapulpa, or maybe a little over an hour from Sapulpa, there's a secret facility. It ain't on the maps. If it is on the maps, a few of my subscribers haven't been able to find it. Okay, Trueface Tony. Jason, what are your thoughts on Area 51 and underground bases? Okay, I already have many videos about underground bases. They've been around. Underground bases have been around longer than the United States has been here. Underground bases have been found all over the world. Now, I believe that some of the underground facilities that are closer to the surface are covered by national parks, but I believe that there's some very, very deep under the ground. Others have been destroyed, for which we've recently discovered, I believe, maybe in Antarctica. I don't know. Concerning Area 51, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all BS. I have a video about 1947 about UFOs. You need to check it out because it's not something you see on a lot of other channels. I don't know if you see any of that material. Listen, that was an assist. No UFOs, no aliens crashed in the desert in 1947. All that was premeditated, just like the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947, the Nag Hammadi Library in 1945, the UFOs crashing in 1947, right when the greatest Nazi scientist of all time, Wernher von Braun, was there when it happened. Too coincidental. Area 51 is what the military wanted everybody to believe, that these objects in this military R&D project was ongoing, but it's all BS. It's all BS. The true materials that came from a civilization in the underworld that the U.S. masqueraded as UFOs. Yeah, the United States helped perpetuate the deception. The real materials were taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base Research and Development Center. That's the real story. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base isn't what you've been told it is. Let's see. There's some good books about that. I need to do UK predictions. Check out the rapper Tom McDonald. Some of his lyrics. Listen, I have. He cracks me up. I don't know about the moon, man. Hold your K. The moon is more like a hologram to me, hiding something else. I do know that the Soviets recorded a dinging sound. It was later supposed to have been recorded again by NASA. I don't know. I don't know, Terry Haynes. That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I know that this world is full of suffering. Believe me, I've participated in it. So I don't know. I don't know why you have to go through that. I don't know. I do know that every single thing that we experience is for the development of our immortal souls. And I know that in the future, when our personality construct is put back together with our full gamut of memories, I know that we'll look back on all this and understand completely why the oversoul made us go through all this. We'll understand then, even though right now we can't see it. You know, remember, there's a good saying in the New Testament: we see through as a glass darkly. And that's true. We don't see anything with clarity. What about Venus? Your opinions with Velikovsky's take? I'm a critic to Velikovsky because Velikovsky, I love Velikovsky. I've read all his books. I've quoted him many times, but I have to criticize his Venus data because he assumed that the historical cataclysms that he was documenting were caused by the planet Venus. But over and over in ancient text, Phoenix and Venus were confused many times. And he says that Venus got big, big, big and got huge. And you know what? It wasn't. It was Phoenix. It was Phoenix. And I correct that. And I show that. And I also show how Hittite astronomers made the exact same mistake. So, yeah, it's his research is fantastic. The only thing I'm gonna take from that is that Earth has not moved out of its place, and nor did Venus come close to us. These are irrational because in the simulacrum, if we have this perfect order that's going on, if you disrupt that order, chaos does not resolve back into to the prior order. It establishes a new order. So Velikovsky has a lot to answer for. If you're going to claim that Venus left its original orbit so far and deviated so much, assuming that this is a heliocentric system, if you're going to postulate that in your theory, that Venus became an elliptical orbit, well, I have a problem with that, because how did Venus go back to a circular orbit? Why is Venus's axis almost 90 degrees perpendicular to the plane right now? Ours isn't. Our obliquity is 23.5 degrees. So how can Velikovsky account for the fact that if Venus really did all that, how did it get back to its original position as if nothing ever happened? Because we have Venus almanacs that go back thousands of years recorded by the Maya. Oh, yes, we do. Velikovsky has a lot to answer for, but his research is sound if you just change Venus to Phoenix. Totally different. I love Velikovsky. Jason, what's the name of your video about what life was like, what life going to be after May 16th, 2040? Okay, that video was for the collective. It's for those who have a reason to fear. It's for those who buy into the fear. I don't believe you. I don't believe me. I don't believe anybody who is truly spiritual and divorced from this present world has anything to fear. But if you want to see have a picture painted for you of what the world's going to be like after May 15th, 2040, I do have a video I did. And maybe somebody else can provide that link. I can't do it while I'm doing this video. I have to go search for it. I even get lost in my own playlist. Do the elites speak in code to each other publicly? Because they make no sense to me. Okay, well, let me tell you what they do. And by elite, I'm also talking about intelligence agencies. Let me tell you what they do. They will throw out evidence and clues that something is either true or happening, and then they'll have a second or a third party turn around and verify it in some way, and then they'll pull back and they'll just watch the collective start constructing something from it. Once it builds momentum and has power, it frees the elite to go into that direction and start doing the very things the collective feared. Please remember this video when I said that. That's what the news does every day. Mr. Traumatic, how you doing, bro? Been a couple weeks since we exchanged emails. Mr. Traumatic, who created the real universe that exists outside the simulacrum? My brother, I believe you and I did. I believe humans did just like us. I believe the avatars that we're existing in right now were just temporary from the beginning. Has nothing to do with who we truly are. I believe that we sense this and that there's an innate force that's within us that wells up in us during our most emotional times when we're vibrating on a frequency that's far outside the collective norm, when we understand with clarity that, man, we're not even supposed to be here. I'm not from this world. This is everything around me is just a game show. It's bullshit. And there are other times when we truly have these glimpses of our real power, when we're able to move mountains, when we're able to walk through a crowd and be at the absolute most powerful individual around, and people see that and they respond to it. There are aspects about our spirituality that can only be explained by the fact that what is inside our avatars is a restricted power. What is inside of us has a governor attached to it, meaning that something, I call it the central nervous system, something is stopping us from our true potential. But that's inside the construct. Outside the construct, I believe it's normal humans, 100%. And I believe those normal humans have a very good grasp of who the oversoul is. And I believe that religion and that spirituality on the outside of the construct is far more pure than what we have here. And I am not opposed to the idea that because the creation was not in a singularity, but it is an ongoing event, the creation is never stopped. I am open to the possibility that this one simulacrum that we're existing in right now is just one of many that we're going to go through, or we've already gone through, or this will keep happening ad infinitum until we are so powerful that we have to be given an immortal avatar just to contain the spirit within. That's my belief system. Where is Waldo? Okay. Yes, the protocols of the learned elders, published 1900. What came to, I don't know if they were published in 1903. I do believe that there was some evidence of their existence before that, but they came to the public's attention. Yes. So in 2039, yeah. Listen, those people, Bolsheviks, whatever you want to call them, the apocalypse is for them. It's not for the people that they've been victimizing. It's totally opposite. Totally opposite. How do you go about presenting this knowledge to close friends and family? I found myself running into an issue of having to deconstruct deep-rooted belief systems. Listen, you cannot bring this level of information to the uninitiated. You can't do that. All you can do is live by example. Listen, when people observe your behavior and see that it is different from those around them, that's planting a seed. Don't think people are not always observing you. They are. When you do things that are anomalous to them but normal to you, they're going to pay attention. Plant those seeds. It is your physical activities, not what you say, that people respond to you. Just like animals. Animals don't give a damn what comes out your mouth. They're watching your body language, because your body language and the tone of your voice tells an animal everything. So, listen, you want to reach your loved ones, you want to reach them, you've got to be, not say. You've got to do and not tell. It's a totally different way of communicating, but it's subtle. And subtlety is far more powerful than being direct. When somebody makes a comment, when somebody asks you, man, why you do that, or what's going on? Listen. This is a true psychological tenet. People only say a small fraction of what's truly on their mind. So if somebody actually goes out of their way to speak to you in public or to speak to you off to the side, you need to take that into consideration, because oftentimes it took a lot of internal wrestling for that individual to finally do that. If they've done that, you have a receptive audience. And that is when you say something like, man, you just got to break free or die trying. Or say something, hey, you know what? I'm not trying to push my beliefs on you. I just know that we are more than we suppose ourselves to be. And until you realize that, you're just not going to get it. And if you just leave it like that, it doesn't matter if you offend somebody. Because believe me, when you offend people, it brings them closer to you. The first thing, when you offend somebody, the first thing a person wants to do is find a bridge to reconnect. But you got to let people work things out for themselves. You're not here to save the world, but you can save a lot. But you can't do it directly. This is not a world that responds to direct, basically contacts. It's a world of subtlety. It is a world where parables and half-truths contain more knowledge than direct truth. It's just the way this world is. I have videos about this world. This world operates on basically lies. We have to lie to ourselves just to bring the very things we want. Even the whole law of attraction deal. You got to believe you have something before you have it. Well, you got to lie to yourself. This construct, I'd say it all the time, our world is not what you think. It's a reflective medium, but it can't reflect truth back if you're going to tell the truth. If you're dead broke and you ain't got no money in your bank account right now, you can't tell the truth to reality that you're rich when you're not. You have to lie and say that I am. I got plenty of money. I'm going to go to sleep tonight. I'm going to wake up because something's going to come for me. I'm not going to restrict the cosmos. The oversoul is going to make sure that somebody forgot to pay me on something. Tomorrow I'm going to come across some money that's going to help me pay my bills. It's going to happen tomorrow. You're lying to yourself, but it works. That's the simulacrum for you. So who built this world? The father of lies. The God of this world. Not the oversoul. Remember, this is a construct. It's not a part of the creation. Oh, my chat froze. There it is. Maybe something else froze. Thank you, Christina Grace. Listen, all the dungeon programming and all the negative default baggage that you carry right now that you worry about, you're not gonna carry that into the future. That stays here. It stays here. It was expected for you, all this to accrue to you. It was expected. I mean, the oversoul is awesome. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that the oversoul would have put together a construct where you're really in no danger, but it's so convincing that you can develop an immortal personality by all the problems that you have to face while you're in here. And only after it's over and it's collapsed are you basically become aware that you were never in really any danger to begin with, ever. Dr. Rimka, thank you. I got your emails. That's right. Don't fake it. Be it until you make it. Issa, thank you, Rimka. It's all about being positive. There's no doubt. Yeah. I mean, these aren't, I mean, some of y'all new to my channel. These are not novel things that I'm saying. My Archaix veterans have heard me say all these things in different ways many times. The We Immortals playlist is packed with this, but so are my live. I have an entire playlist set aside to nothing but live videos and podcasts. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You're going to decode the Voynich Manuscript. Man, I'd like to see that when you're done, because nobody else, U.S. cryptologists using the most advanced equipment, haven't decoded that yet. Yes, but we do have interesting developments coming, my friends. When major changes happen on the world scene, you didn't see them coming. They just happened, like 9/11. You didn't see them coming. And then the whole pandemic deal, you didn't see that coming. It just happened. Shut down the whole world. No one have ever believed that. It just happened. So you need to divorce yourself from everything that you've been conditioned through all these media leaks to believe is about to happen in the next 6 months to a year. You need to just throw it out the window. And you need to keep a very clean slate about the next 6 months, because events are going to unfold for which the media never gave you a hint, a clue was going to happen. That's how major events always happen. Yeah, always happen. I know, Wendy. I just wanted to get my rant out the way. There is some idiot. I call him an idiot because he sounded like one in his evidence. Some dude released a video. He only had like 100 likes. 100 views. I really don't care. I just did it. That's why I ranted. Somebody sent me a link. It wasn't worth my time. Using my criminal history to try to say that I'm a shill and that none of my data is correct. So yeah, I'm human. I can get triggered too. It's no big deal. But, you know, but it's also, I'm just listening to his voice and his arguments are so terrible. It's not the first time I've triggered beta males. I get that a lot. Eugene, I haven't seen you in a while, man. You know what, Eugene? You want to run through the 7 seals of Revelation? Then you go ahead and send me an email. Me and you just do another video. How's that? We can run through those 7 seals. Because the 6th seal, you already know, it's the Phoenix. We can do that. And Eugene, I'm going to call you out right now, man. One of these days, you're going to put a shirt on. Yeah, I got emails about you. Why are you doing videos of this guy? Ain't he naked? Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, Abby James, how might we share your info if we are on an Amazon and Audible publisher? Well, just be patient because I already have somebody right now that's already recording my books on audio. This is, again, another volunteer that just took it upon themselves. I don't even know how many Archaix websites and platforms are really being out. I have a file that I've been setting aside, every email of every volunteer and all that, and I'm going to set aside 3 or 4 days to go through all of them and ask people to do these videos here, do these videos here, do these videos, and timestamps. Like I said, Chronicle. All this happened. All this fell on my lap. Oh, when I did that video saying, "Hey man, a casting call, I need help. This is what I'm gonna do," I didn't realize I was going to get so many responses. I got so many emails to help that it bogged me down. But I'm able to take a lot of variables and put it into a good organizational format so we can get some production done. I'm good about that. Only problem is I haven't had time. Just a few days ago, I hired somebody full time because that's what's happening now. It's somebody in Australia ordered my super PAC, and I don't know what group they're associated with, but they let the cat out the bag what the contents were. So I literally had 200 orders from Australia, and I got many for the rest of the world, but it shut me down for days. So I'm caught up now, but that one order, whatever website they're on that they did that on, it bogged me down. But yeah, my super PAC has everything. 100% of every book I've written, every article, every chart I've drawn, all my unpublished research notes, everything's on that chart because I needed the world to have it everywhere in the event anything happens. You don't never know. You never know what happens. Going 90 miles an hour on a gravel road somewhere and the wheels slip out from my motorcycle. It's over with. But you know what? Other people. Something happens to me, we need 100 Archaix channels going up. Simple as that. Whatever happens, happens. But I got this now. So if it does happen, y'all see it live. I'm going to wear this and I'm going to ride. Yeah, man. Thank you. Got some really good old books. We'll do a book video later. I don't want this video to go too long. We'll do a book video later. Thank you, Martha. Sage Universe. Appreciate it. Let's see. How do I get this back? Okay. Do you think? Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have been taking my time. I have to get more back into time management. There were several of you who have been with me the longest that were a part of my beta testing for Ophis algorithm. And we did that and we ran the NFL and the cryptos and all that. But you know what? I shelved that for a while. Well, two of my closest buddies, and I say that because I haven't met one of them because he's overseas. I'm not going to name him because he hasn't asked to be named. But you guys know Jesse. Jesse's visited me. He's come to my house right here. And Jesse's a good buddy of mine. But there was a time, guys. You guys know, man. I started my YouTube channel from a wooden shack. I've been moving up, but it's more evidence that I'm not a CIA shill. But you know what? Jesse and this other guy and 2 other people, really. She's in the chat. One of them's in the chat now. In my darkest moments, these people financially supported me, and they didn't even know it. They were just sending donations, but the donations were large enough for my simple life to pay all my bills for a while I was working on Archaix. So when I was going through my darkest episodes in life, these 4 individuals were carrying me. Well, two of these individuals are they're working on the office right now, and I'm gonna get back into it. We're gonna start doing some Zoom sessions because we need to get back into that because we have important events coming in the future, and they want to play with Office and do some different things, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm just not interested in sports. I'm not interested in none of that, or crypto. I'm not interested in that either. But I mean, it is a good tool. But what I'm interested in is using the algorithm to do some other things with things I can do on these videos. So I just have a lot. I have a lot on my plate. So y'all bear with me. All those you volunteered to help, I have your emails set aside. I'm going to answer all of them because we're going to get the transcripts done fast. A lot of people want to read the videos and I understand that. And this guy's website is fantastic. You can read the videos for free. He's already started uploading them now. Yeah, Traumatic was here a little while ago. Go back, Jason, go back. Those are like you, your peeps in Sapulpa. Be quiet. You decoded the Voynich Manuscript. All right. Well, when you send me an email in real big letters, just put Voynich so I know exactly who you are. Because I know your email is not going to say Our Cloaked Unseen World. The Voynich Manuscript is something I've studied. I've showed a lot of pictures of it on my Facebook posts and in my YouTube videos. Mike and Tracy. Mike and Tracy. That sounds familiar. When I read Chronicon 5 years ago, all I could wonder was how in the hell did anyone have time to do that much research? Well, now you know, Mike and Tracy. I didn't get to move around a lot. Oh, yeah, Mike, I remember you, man. Office. Yeah. You caught the tail end of the beta testing. I remember that. Well, let's see. Okay, question. Is the moon possibly a reflection of a larger Earth? I would need to see evidence of that. I know it's a popular theory on YouTube. I've been hearing it. It's not something I've ever researched, so I just don't know. I just don't know. Jeremiah Hess, do you have a claim to the life with Russell J. Gold? Do I have a claim to the life? Listen, Russell's people contacted me and asked me if we would do a live video. And I responded to them and I told them, hey, man, I really respect that guy. I know his name very well. I've read some of his material. I'm not in the sovereignty. I know he's the postmaster. I know, but I wrote them a letter being very sincere that I'm basically had to decline because I don't see any correlates between the Archaix research and Russell J. Gold's material. I heard he's got some spiritual material, but all I'm familiar with is his legalistic stuff. And I didn't see a correlate. If I'm wrong, then I owe them an apology, but I didn't know he was into spiritual material. The two things that I read were strictly some really highly government legalistic stuff, and that's not my thing. It's just not my thing at all. Thank you, Martha Meza. New Zealand. Brett McCartan. Hi from New Zealand. New Zealand, please listen to me. I've gotten 3 or 4 orders from New Zealand. I guess the news just isn't out. I said it in 2 different videos and in a post that if you're in New Zealand and you're trying to order flash drives from me, thumb drives, I don't really want to send them to you. Customs for New Zealand is a nightmare. I will do it, but you got to cover the extra $72 they charge Americans to mail anything to New Zealand. I can show you the receipts. It's ridiculous. What costs me $18 to $20 to mail to Australia cost me $71.50 just to mail one of these. It's ridiculous. Yeah. if I'm only charging $80 for the cost of the drive, the cost of the envelope packaging, bubble wrap, and the actual postage to get it there, and the time it takes me to upload them to a flash drive, which isn't very long. I mean, I upload a whole bunch of them at the same time now, but I had to buy this. So, it's you just got to cover the cost. I'll go through the aggravation at the filling out the international forms and all that, but I keep getting these orders from New Zealand, and they're just not paying attention, man. You send me $80 but it cost me $71 to send it to you, and you're not taking into consideration all the other expenses and time it took to do that. So please, New Zealanders, don't order flash drives for me unless you're willing to go ahead and just cover those costs. And I'm sorry, I don't know why New Zealand's different than the rest of the world. I mailed to countries all over the world and never saw that before. Weighing the Heart. If that's true, I probably got your email. Graphic designer, artist, yeah, different people have asked to help. I just haven't had a time because so much hit me at the exact same time. But I'm working out a schedule now that I got help. HWM Liberty, how do we get a super PAC? I haven't really been advertising. I just mention them in the videos. If you want one, you got to email me. I don't really want to advertise it because then I'm going to get hundreds and hundreds of orders and it's going to lock me down, and that's not what I'm about. So I don't. When people want them, they can just email me and I'll send them the ordering information. I don't want to put it on my website because I got to pat myself on the back. GoDaddy sent me a very interesting little notice saying that Archaix.com, my website, is in the top 1% of performing websites in the entire GoDaddy spectrum. So that's shocked me. Shocked me. Looking for a question. Thank you, Twilight Traveler. That's a new name to me. I haven't seen you in the threads. I told you I'm in the comment section every day. Listen, get up in the morning, crush my coffee beans, get one of my favorite mugs out, brush my mouth, wash my face. It's the same routine every day. Come over here, look at my emails, see if there's anything really important at first, and then I turn around and go straight onto YouTube, and I look at the comment section. I go through the comments. So a lot of the thumbs ups that you guys get on your comments, it's me, because that's how I keep a record that I read that. And if you're saying something I really disagree with and don't like, then I just don't thumbs up it. I just pass over it. I was going too fast in here. Yeah. I saw, what is the difference between beta male and alpha male? Yeah, that's really, you're going to ask me that? Really? I'll go ahead and answer that. I'll answer that real quick. You can sum that up with leaders and followers. Just like that. Coffee cups. Stop it. I don't know how y'all do those little pictures like that. Everybody, little fire hearts, coffee cups. I'm so tech retarded. Looking at I don't see anything in capitals. Oh, how do you feel about Mark Passio? That's a name I keep hearing. Why do you guys keep asking me about this name? Who is he? Oh, I don't know. I can't answer that. No, I do not believe all races were created in batches at the same time. Just the opposite. I believe that the Earth has undergone different biospheres and different races were put here in batches instantly. There was no development. They appeared, memories and everything absolutely intact. Just like all those companies appeared intact in 1902. Okay, do you speak on quantum physics mechanics in any of your videos? Yes, I do. But I do it from the mind over matter from a more spiritual perspective, you would find a lot of that data in the We Immortals playlist. But I'm a student of Paul LaViolette. The man wrote a book. If you want to know the nature of reality, way beyond physics, way beyond anything you'll read in Einstein's works, you need to read LaViolette. And the book is forbidden in a lot of places. It's called Subquantum Kinetics. The book is fantastic. It's very deep, but it goes deep into this quantum reality. Subquantum kinetics is also where I got some of my own beliefs, like informed fields. Like, yeah, I have a very scientific approach to analyzing the human condition, the human soul, our immortalhood. I don't have to separate it from sophistication. I don't have to separate it from technology. Yeah, well, I mean, we've been technologically advanced many times before, so I have no problem with accepting that our condition is a result of technological advancement, and that over the period of history, through resets and cataclysms, we keep losing it. So it keeps morphing into something slightly different than before. Alice in Wonderland. Just saw Jason is live, so I hung up on my husband. That's crazy. That's crazy. Mark Passio is a great man, teaches natural law. That may be true. I'm sorry I couldn't answer the question because I don't know who he is and I haven't read any of his material. I just don't know. Guys, there's a lot I don't know. There's a lot I don't know about these other channels, who they are, what they're doing. There's a lot. And I know there's been people, Forbidden Knowledge News, Julia Murphy, Esoteric Knights of Malta. We're going to be talking about England, Britain, giants, ancient Israelites, descendants of Trojans, all that. Autodidactic, Decode Your Reality, Logan. I've talked to all of them guys. We're going to be doing podcasts again. I'm just going to spread them out. I'm not going to go on a craze like I did recently. Because apparently that's direct evidence that I'm a CIA operative sent to attack the truther community. Yeah, newsflash. It's crazy. I do. As I'm doing things that are hands-on, I listen to other people's channels and I listen to deal. So, what is the guy? Ken Wheeler. I listened to a Ken Wheeler video the other day. I didn't comment or I didn't contact him or anything like that. He was on a roll, but I listened to a video because the subject matter interested me, because Ken Wheeler found he does the same thing I do, man. He's very meticulous in when he's examining something, and he found several threads on the internet where bots were programmed to leave comments to each other. And when you look up and research those bots, they're all friends with and linked to all the other accounts that are doing the exact same thing. And the general message of all these bots that are hidden throughout all the social media and stuff is that they're trying to convince people to take stuff. And they seem innocuous, and they seem like people conversing, like, yeah, oh yeah, this clinic over here just opened, they're giving them out for free over here, and then somebody else will chime in, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get mine in the morning, or you're a dumbass if you don't get one. So I thought that was really interesting. If you go to Ken Wheeler's site, I can't pronounce the name of his channel. And if he wanted to get more views, he probably could if he would change the name of his channel, because I can't. Apophysis, I don't remember what it is. But Ken Wheeler is his name. And that's his latest video, or the one before that, was about his discovery on all these social media engines and stuff about these bots talking to each other and basically trying to convince they're not real accounts, they're not real people. So thought that was I just throw that out there. So I do listen to other people's channels. I just listened to a John Levy one last night as I was filling out orders for thumb drives and stuff. when I do Zooms and talk to people, not the ones that I record for YouTube, but when I'm doing some consultations and talking to people, if it's several people on the Zoom, I'll have one of my windows open. I'll be scanning YouTube, just seeing basically what people are talking about. Okay, Max knows Passio. Okay, Max and I are going to do another video. That's it. Pneumatic Autist. Nice name. Pneumatic Autist. Theoria Apotheosis. Oh my God, as well read as I am, I can't say shit. Theoria Apotheosis. Whatever. I got a Greek buddy, man. I'm doing another video with him soon too, man. I've already done that video. You guys know who he is. The Hellenic Wolf. He can say all these Greek things. I'll save that for him. Jeffro Bodine, how you doing? The race of people that appeared with the moon were the Igigi, and they're still a problem today. Let's see. Quantum of Conscience. Jason, check out Quantum of Conscience. That's a very familiar title to me. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who Byron Katie is. But I'm telling you now, you guys, there are 2 books. If you want to know the core nature of reality, I tell you guys all the time about Peter Ouspensky, and I tell you about Ishak Bentov. But these books are good, and they're really good for the average person to absorb technical data. But if you're over average, if you're able to follow the reasoning and follow some very technical material, but it's put out in genius, you need to read Paul LaViolette's Subquantum Kinetics. And then there's another book, a small book. This book is about magic and why magic is real and that magic is scientific. It's a book that I've only recommended a few times because I don't recommend it to the average person. The book is called Liber Chaos. It's fascinating. Fascinating. John Keel wrote Our Haunted Planet. Thank you, Fearless Vic. I keep saying Jacques Vallée. Jacques Vallée wrote some other good books too in that period. But you're right. It was John Keel who wrote Our Haunted Planet. And that is recommended reading for anybody who's interested in the Archaix data. He basically followed in the footsteps of Charles Fort. Yeah, man. Love John Keel. Very scientific guy. Yeah, Theoria Apophysis, something like that. If he would just change the name of his damn channel, I might watch it more. Yeah. But anyway, it's Ken Wheeler if y'all want it. Y'all are interested in that video. I thought it was really interesting because it makes a lot of sense to me. Liber is good. Shiva Shampoo, you've read it. All right. Hey, I didn't see you in the chat, Shiva. John Vaught, do you know anything on or regarding invasion, like what has already happened? I'm not really sure what you mean. Liber Chaos is 99 cents on Kindle. You hear that, guys? Yeah. Man, there's a quote in that Liber Chaos that is so deep. I can't remember what it is. Just something of it. Scientists would do something if they would just realize that something about magic. And then magicians are absolutely blind to the fact that their ritual and formula have mathematical predicates. It was genius what he said. I wrote it down. I even have it quoted somewhere in a video. Igigi Lives Matter. Abel Chavez. I've been seeing your name more and more lately. It's good stuff. Quantum of Consciousness. Oh, it's not a book. It's a YouTube channel. All right. Hey, guys, there's really great YouTube channels out there. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. But a man can only do so much in one day, especially when he's putting out his own material. I just don't have a lot of time to go find them all. It's yeah, it's a Venist. That's a new name to me. Venist, okay. Subquantum kinetics is shown to be able to account for the superluminal control of the parallel anti-parallel orientation of particle spin mediated through electric potential soliton beam links. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, Aventus, you just went over my head. What I got out of subquantum kinetics was that we're living in a sort of anti-universe, governed by an anti-arithmetic. Meaning that there's some type of real arithmetic that exists, but we're living outside of it. That's what I got out of some quantum kinetics. But what you're saying is probably equally true. But yeah, you just blew my mind with that, because I don't know what a soliton beam is or how to link to it. So you got me. Thank you for the input, though. Christina the Astonishing. Does owning a gun mean you are living in fear? Absolutely not. Living in fear is a choice. Why you have that gun is your business, but absolutely not. Living in fear, no. That's taking it to the extreme. Well, no, it's not. Even Jesus told his disciples to be peaceful, but wear a knife. You remember that? Or carry a sword. Yeah. Because there's an old saying of the Greeks. One sword keeps another in the scabbard. So yeah, it's a no. Good question though, but no, it's too extreme. I don't know anything about the med beds. I don't know anything about it. No, Liber, Null, and Psychonaut. No, it's not. It's called Liber Chaos. Chaos spelled with a K. K-A-O-S. Yes, Da Puma. It is by Peter Carroll. I love that book. Summerhill Lane. Hey, she's a veteran. I have the book, Liber Chaos, and I just started reading it. I bought it on your recommendation, Jason. Well, I hope you enjoy it. World Diplomat Family carry 2 swords. There you go. That's probably a closer to the actual scripture. I just ordered it, Mr. Bacon. Oh man, I got to quit dropping these books on you guys. You're gonna go broke. Does the CIA know if the angels are Anunna? Jonathan Sherman? I'm not CIA. I couldn't answer that. I don't know. But I do have a CIA document on my computer. But it's legal for me to have it because it's part of the Open Records Act. It's called the Gateway Process. I have that file on my computer thanks to a subscriber sending me the PDF. The CIA report that we live in a hologram and that we can make things happen by thought and activity. You ain't got to go underground. You ain't got to go underground. Never worry or fear. That's right. Jahara, you read the Gateway Process? Well, we need to start manifesting something then. Dreamer of Sirius. There are 3 groups. But 2 of them have long been working together. And I'm probably going to do something on this. But there are 3 groups. 2 of them have long worked together. And yes, the third are the Agigi. Are you aware of the Texas Tesla Tower? No, but I'm aware that Texas is a power producing state. I know that we don't need, here in Texas, we don't need the rest of the United States of America. Our infrastructure is self-contained. We don't need anything from outside the United States of America. Texas is in a very unique position on its power, on its natural resources. And what I believe is underneath Texas will always make Texas important to American government. Even if the United States fractures into 2 or 3 different zones, Texas will remain free and in power and basically be the capital of the freest area of the United States of America. I believe it will also pick and choose which states it allows to join that confederation. Bridget Williams, there's not a lot to it. Not a lot to it. When it comes to your informed field, yeah, you got to the knowledge of power creates power. It's as simple as that. Once you acknowledge the fact that you are an informed field and that you're not this avatar, you're going to start doing incredible things. Life is going to take on a whole new meaning. Daily circumstances and things and encounters you have during the day are going to take on new and deeper meanings when you understand them from the standpoint that you're a mortal hiding inside an avatar that you're using as a vehicle to get through basically a game system. Yeah, start viewing reality like that, and reality will reciprocate. It will start playing with you. Play ball. Matrix Breaker, what did you find in Lee, Massachusetts? Wow. So anyway, guys, it's a John Adams, Echoes Romania, good channel. Okay. Smart kid, young man. I don't know anything about it. Okay. I don't know anything about scalar energy. Wheeler speaks Russian too and lives there 20 years, if I'm correct, guys. I don't know anything about Wheeler. I just saw that video, and I know that he's been on Syncretism Society a few times, quite a few times. Yeah, I don't know. Really don't know. I've listened to about 4 of his videos and basically ascertained that this man is far smarter than I am. I can't follow him a lot of times. But then again, a lot of people can't follow me because I start talking rapidly. I'm excited because I know my material, especially when we're talking about chronology. And I go off and you can't understand me. You have no idea what I'm talking about. And I get that. I get that. Subquantum Kinetics is for sale for $155. I'm so glad I read it 10, 15 years ago. I don't know about the meetup yet. Don't know about the meetup. Might be too early for that. What is that? Do you believe there may have been an informed field slippage when you had your accident? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. It's anything could have happened. I mean, my accident did change my perspective. It was an awesome feeling. Walking around, it was an awesome feeling. I was so hyperlucent. People were so interesting. I really don't know. But reality has a way. I mean, there's nothing normal about a reality. For my Archaix veterans who have gone back and watched my videos, in the beginning, there's nothing normal about some of the things that I've documented. The insect famine, followed by the insect plague after the human collective realized there isn't a single type of species of insect in all the United Kingdom. So as soon as humans were baffled about it and talking about it, what happened? The simulacrum went into overdrive producing insects. And they didn't just fall from the sky. They rained in torrential rivers, started a plague. Insect carcasses stinking all over the damn place. Whole different species raining in different areas. Ship captains having to sweep insects off the decks of their ships. It's crazy. Mithridates of Pontus was about to beat the hell out of a Roman army, and a rock falls from the sky, stopping the battle right then and there. Antiochus Epiphanes, the armies of Syria and Egypt, and a tsunami comes at the one time that army is passing that one narrow strait, a wild freak tsunami that is not recorded by any other surrounding Mediterranean cultures. A freak tsunami takes the whole army out. Guys, 2 times the Mongols assembled fleets of hundreds of thousands of people in ships and thought to go make war against the shogunate in Japan and take over Japan. Both times, those fleets were never seen again. We are told typhoons appeared and wiped them out. Those invasions were 10 years apart. There's too many times throughout history that we have seen that something observing us has manipulated events to their advantage. They didn't want Mithridates to beat the Romans because the Romans were the ones that artificial intelligence X was backing. Japan was not to be messed with. There was to be no cross-contamination between the Chinese and Korean armies and the Mongols and the Khans and the Caucasians that were in those armies with the people of Japan. Artificial intelligence X didn't want any contact for whatever reason and made sure that those 2 fleets were wiped out. Over and over throughout history, and I've documented so many of them in my older videos. Unusual phenomena. A rock falls out of the sky, hits a radio, smashes through a TV, and then hits a woman and breaks her ribs. Unusual things. Gets her attention. She goes in the hospital. I got black and white pictures of her. Deal. Our reality isn't what you think. The evidence that it's simulated and manipulated is everywhere. You just got to search. Remember, I don't really come from the perspective of simulation theory from a scientific perspective. I'm not a scientist. My whole channel is about showing you that there's evidence that we live in a construct from history and from chronology. I really don't care about science because every 18 to 19 years, scientists change their positions, they rewrite their materials, and they never give apologies for being wrong before. So yeah, I'm not with it. Not with it at all. Okay, I see somebody said, thank you, Vince. Somebody said that Vibes of Cosmos TV channel explains the moon's phases as caused by a direct energy from under the North Pole area coming from a black sun having the same geocentric path as the sun and the moon. That's a lot to take in. I'm not saying they're wrong, but extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. I'm not saying they're wrong. Don't say Archaix says you're full of shit. Don't get on there and do that BS. I'm not saying they're wrong. I haven't seen any of their data. But what I know is that the lunar phases where the light is seen to reflect off the surface of the moon, we are given the impression the moon is a globe because of the curvature of that light. We are given the impression that the sun is also a globe because it's emitting light in all directions to be able to do that to the moon. Therefore, I must conclude that the stellosphere wants us to believe in a heliocentric system. It wants us to believe these are round objects and one is the cause and one is the effect. Now, if these guys are showing that the light is caused by something else, that's all good. But from our perspective in the here and now, when we look up at the sky, that's the impression that we receive. Therefore, it tells me something wants us to believe we're not in a construct, but that we're actually in some type of cosmos. And the stars are provided for that purpose as well. They don't just pass over the sky, they pass in an arc. That gives the impression that somewhere there's a central axis. That too is a lie. That means that we're on a world that's spinning. That's what the sky wants to tell us. Yeah, so I'm all on board with the sky being a stellosphere. I'm with a dome. I'm all on board with it being a hologram, a multi-tiered hologram. Where I'm at, though, is that it is deceitful because it intends on us for us to deduce that we're in a heliocentric system. So that means there's a element of deception in the optics. And I know a lot of these guys on YouTube, they send me emails. They tell me, hey, man, you're wrong. They say, JasonArchaix, you're wrong. He says, the whole idea that we're in a heliocentric system was made by the Freemasons. Oh, that's good. But before the Freemasons came around, Aristarchus and Anaximander had already made those conclusions as well, that the planets and meteorites came from rocks from other worlds and all, and the sun and all that stuff. So it's not new. It's not new. So in order to justify their position, then they have to go to another tenet, which is, well, all Greek history is fake. Those guys didn't exist. Well, listen, I have a problem with that. And the reason I have a problem with that is it's from these old and ancient translations and manuscripts that we get all these unique numbers for which no one else in the entire world has ever brought to your attention but me. I have listed all these numbers for you guys over and over and over, and every single one of them are connected to ancient disasters, concepts of disasters, in calendars involving disasters, and every single one of these numbers is divisible by 138, the Phoenix number. So I have a problem with you telling me all these histories in the world are all fake and all that, because if they were fake, why are they still preserving elements of an ancient knowledge for which our modern day establishment evidently doesn't want us to know? If there are secrets to be gleaned and put together, like I have done so much in Archaix, then that necessarily implies that these libraries have genuine origin. It doesn't matter if the translations of the text that we have today are still original, because I even have a video explaining that. Through these resets, a lot of these materials are released from underworld libraries, repositories of information where the elite have all the old books and stuff, and they bring them up, and they call them Dead Sea Scrolls. Hey, let's bring these up over here and say the Shepherd Boy found these right here, Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, what about over here? Hell, that worked. So let's say this is Nag Hammadi Library. Okay, what about this over here? Oh, well, look. We can just say that we found this in the archives of the Belgrade Public Library. What do you want to call it? We're going to call it the Book of the Secrets of Enoch. Listen, man, this happens all the time, guys. These libraries are protected in repositories in the underworld. Then they're brought back up. And there is evidence that one mind put together a lot of this stuff. Gibbon is perfect example. Gibbon wrote a stack of books this big on the history of Europe and Rome. Huge. Gibbon's rise and fall of the Roman Empire is fantastic. But Gibbon had access to an amazing library. His sources are fantastic. And I don't believe it was done on the surface world. I believe it was done in a reset period. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Thank you, Vince. So it's just I do have a lot of older videos, guys. I mean, you get bored and you want to watch videos, don't you have to wait for me to go live or release a new upload. I got so much old content that is still viable. It is still good material. And I appreciate it. Like today, 2 different people told me that there was ads spamming the middle of older videos. I haven't gone back to a lot of those old videos and removed that, but I know how to now. So just tell me, hey man, I don't care about ads in the beginning. I got to make a little money on my channel. Ads at the beginning don't bother me. You can pass through most of them, but the ads in the middle of my videos, no. You need to let me know they're there. As soon as you do, that's it. I go in there and disable that. But right now, I just don't have time to go into 100 videos and just go into my settings. I do it as people tell me on Awaken the Immortal Within was the one I did like an hour before this live broadcast. I didn't know there was spam in the middle of the video with ads, so I disengaged that. It's not happening no more. So anyway, guys, it's been real. I appreciate y'all letting me get my rant out. It's just sometimes, man, I read all my emails and I read my messages, and sometimes people just get under my skin because they're stupid, and there's no other way around it. Some people just completely alienate themselves from the truth by their attitudes, and their attitudes toward me because, for whatever reason, man, you think I'm too eloquent, so therefore I'm a deep stater. You think I know too much because I spent all this time in a prison cell learning and self-educating. Therefore, there must be more to the story. This guy here, he's a shill. Yeah, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Okay, it's stupid. Oh, okay, I do not have a colorful past. So you use that against me to basically say that my information is obsolete or not good, or I'm trying to break up the truther community. Man, get out of town, man. I'm a human too. And sometimes I wish it was humans standing in front of me and not hiding behind keyboards. And that's a very human reaction as well. And I'm going to close this video with that right there. Thank you for letting me get my rant out. And I appreciate all the donations I got. I saw it was going off. Pretty wild. I really appreciate it. You know, I put it to good use. And you know, you guys know, too many of you know, I give free things away all the time. So I always put everything donated to Archaix to the best of uses. And I do have a full-time employee now, and she appreciates that too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll do another live soon, but I got some more uploads and podcasts to attend to. And I'm about to open up this door because it is hot. Holler at you. If I can get out of here. I don't even know how to get out of here. Got my camera in the way.